Hello, and welcome to Up Close with yours truly, Colin Thompson. Featured in this special edition are some of the most iconic players and teams that have left an indelible mark on the annual Cup Match Classic. So I encourage you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. As one former cricketer simply put it, Cup Match is much more than just a game. It is a tradition and an integral part of Bermuda's culture. Since its inception in 1902, the annual match pitting Somerset Cricket Club against East End rivals St George's Cricket Club has evolved into the biggest and most iconic event on the local sporting calendar. It is for this reason and others many aspire to play in Cup Match.
My grandfather was, played Cup Match. He was the longest serving captain ever in Cup Match. My grandfather, Warren Simmons. My uncle Lloyd was captain of Somerset as well. And my father was one of the best wicket keepers that there've been, and he played for Somerset. So, hey, no question about it. In my house, in my family, Cup Match was it. And from a little boy, I was going to play Cup Match.
I grew up wanting to play Cup Match, and on Cup Match day, we up here listening to the radio and all of that, and I dreamed about the time that I would play Cup Match.
And watching the cricketers when I was growing up playing in the annual Cup Match Classic, that was, for a young boy, the big game of the season. At that time, Bermuda wasn't very much into the international scene as we so developed over a period of time. But yeah, that was a game that everybody wanted to be in and be at.
Because as a little kid growing up on the boundary edge of Wellington Oval, I used to watch Dennis and Lloyd and Rupert Scotland and persons that I idolized. So obviously it was a dream of mine to always play Cup Match. And when I was 15, I scored Cup Match for Joel Brown, and then the very next year at 16, I was blessed to be afforded that opportunity to play Cup Match. And I remember that day at Wellington Oval walking up with Dennis Wainwright as a youngster opening beginnings, and the electric atmosphere that was there at Wellington Oval, and it definitely was an honor. And I always recognized the fact that it was the special game in Bermuda, and I treated it like such every year.
Over the years, Cup Match has featured many great teams, among them a star-studded St George's team that achieved an unprecedented 8 victories in 9 years under the leadership of Captain Calvin Bummy Simons during the 1960s.
That was one of the greatest teams that I think that St George's ever had, or Bermuda. Cup Match teams Bermuda ever had.
We had players in the team that were the top players in the clubs, and some of us we were captains in our clubs. So we know the responsibility, we knew that what was required of us, which made it very easy for the one that was leading us.
Every game we played, we felt that we were going to win. But I used to play the game before I got there. That night, I used to dream about when I reached 50, when I reached 75. I used to dream about making a century. In other words, I felt like I was going to make a lot of runs. And I mean, I hate to say this, but sometimes waiting to go in, I was hoping that one of the batsmen would get out so I can come into bed.
The team harmony, that was the key. It was like a family. At no time did I ever come across any arguments or any jealousy, or everyone was we was rooting for one another. So when you went out to bat, you felt the team behind you, like they wanted you to make runs. You're bowling, they want you to take wickets. And it was one happy family at that time.
Cricket is a funny game. You're up today and down tomorrow. But you must prolong, keep on going, till we get it right. And we had top players. At that time, St. George's had about, if they represent the country, St. George's always had 8 players in the Bermuda team. How I selected a team, I got 4 batsmen. My first 4 batsmen, especially bats. They have to make runs. 5, 6, and 7 my all-rounders. 8 could be my wicket-keep batsman, or the opening bat could be a wicket-keep. But 9, 10, and 11 is my specialty bowlers. That's all they do, bowl. That's why we became a team. I changed teams around. When I saw a player is not up to the par, I'll go to him and tell him that you're going to have to be dropped this year because you're not up to par. And I have no problem dealing with him, talking to him that way.
It is often said that behind every great team is a great leader. And according to those who either have the privilege of playing with or against him, Simons was all that and then some.
He is a born leader. He had a lot of experienced players. He had a lot of great players. But once you get great players together, you got to know how to handle them. Because in Bommy was captain, there was no animosity, there was no jealousy or no arguments. As far as he was concerned, he had balance. He was a real leader. And in my explanation, he is the best leader that Bermuda's ever produced.
I don't think we could have had a better leader than he had, Cal Simons. He knew how to get the best out of the players, and that's what made him such a great captain. He knew he didn't have to use the bully tactics. He didn't have to. He just let you know what's expected of you, and you performed.
I never heard him run down a player like some captains get on to you missed it, captain, but not Bommy. Always encouragement to his players, and that's what I like. I missed him when he went, and of course I didn't stay many years after that because it wasn't the same. And I'm not saying the other guys, the other guys were good, but they couldn't match up to Bommy's leadership.
He was a great player, a fieldsman. He could field in his slips, the cover point. He could field any position, and he could take the ball and break a partnership, and then he'd give it back to whoever was on before him, and go on and do your job.
Somebody looked like they were getting set, and he would take the ball, and I said, no. I would say to myself, why in the world is Bommy going on? But he always broke up the partnership. I mean, always.
Because Simons were taking a lot of licks, and Bommy Simons was captain, and Bommy had instilled some fear, whether we like it or not. Bommy instilled fear in people, and of course he had Parford with him, and Parford was at the time the most and continued to be the most devastating bowler probably that we've ever seen in cup match, and so they had those two things going. The kind of leadership that Bommy had, which was like relentless. Bommy didn't ease up on you. If he had you down, he's going to finish you out, kind of thing. But I learned a lot, and people don't know this, but I learned a lot from Bommy.
Good ball, and this one's uppish, and it should be out. It's up in the air, Matt. Oh, the fielder just made a diving attempt, and I should say it really was a valiant effort.
Even though it was a historic win, a really great win, many did not expect for a victory that day.
I can remember, like, even in displaying my St. George collars, you go out and a lot of people wouldn't wear the collars if they were Somerset.